All right, this is a female voiceover wave file, completely raw. It's an AKG C-214 microphone going into an H6 Zoom recorder, and we're going to process this with using only Logic Pro stock plugins. So we're going to do an EQ, compression, maybe a de-esser, maybe a gate if it's necessary, and let's see what we have from this young, talented voiceover artist.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind? Ready for the drama? Oh, we know you are.
Oh, we are. All right, let's see. We're going to start with an EQ first. I like to put the EQ first because I want my compressor to work on the EQ'd material. I want you to know what's going on in my head so you have an idea of why I'm making the decisions I'm making with the EQ before I go to the compressor, or with the compressor before I go to the next step. Understanding what's in the producer's head is going to, I think, put you a lot further in the game than if I just explain what the threshold and the attack and release do on the specific plugins. That could be left to the user manual, how the stuff works. You could find that anywhere, but what's going on in my head, I think, is more valuable. So then you could do this stuff on your own voice, on your own DAW with your own equipment. Understanding the processes, I think, is the most important here. So let's turn on the analyzer and we'll see what we've got to work with.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind?
Great. I already can tell. I mean, since this is a totally raw file, it's going to sound a lot different once we're done. The first thing I'm going to do is just get rid of some of the very low material, the real low stuff that's below her voice.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyle.
And I'll sweep and then find the lowest part of her voice and then zero in on that.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And
yeah, all this stuff below here, it's unnecessary, and that could trigger the detector circuit in the compressor, so I want to get rid of that. All right, so we've done that.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind?
All right, I like to raise the upper end here quite a bit in this case to try to get the air and the intricacies and the upper frequencies of her voice.
Coming up next,
that's where that clarity is, and I'm gonna fine tune all these EQ adjustments after the compressor again, and then maybe after if we add anything else.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who?
A really good technique is to overdo it. Make a real steep peak and crank it up, and then sweep and find the frequency that you want to work with, and then lower or raise or reduce it or whatever. This first EQ I usually put is to fix problems, really to they call it like a surgical EQ. You can go in and fix the problems, or if it's really missing something, you could boost it up. If it's really overdoing it in one frequency range, you could dip that and get it out of the way so it's nice and smooth, and not one frequency band is way piercing compared to the rest of the audio. That's the goal here of this first EQ. Now, if we use a second EQ later on in the channel strip, in the chain, that's kind of for sweetening a little bit with broader strokes. But this is more of a fine-tuning thing that I do in the very beginning.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And
I want to give it a little bit of warmth, a little boldness down here.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active life.
And then I'm thinking just in the mid-range, just to kind of see what's missing a little bit.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on it?
All right, that's probably a good start. Nothing else is really jumping out at me. So let's move over to the compressor now, and the second in my chain. And let's see what kind of compressor I'm going to use. Let me think about this. I'm going to take the auto gain off. Let's just see what this default, the Platinum Logic, does a really good job.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind? Ready for the drama? Oh, we know you are. Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind? Ready for the drama? Oh, we know you are. Coming up next.
All right, I'm just trying to find out. I'm getting in a good range to begin with, and then I may decide to try a different type of compressor. Each one kind of has a different flavor, I guess. This is a pretty transparent one. It just thickens things up without really hearing the compressor too much.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind? Ready for the drama? Oh, we know you are.
I may mess with the sidechain a little bit, see if we can remove some of that low frequency energy from hitting the detector circuit. So really anything above 130 or wherever I end up, anything above that is really what's going into the detector circuit, making the adjustments on the compressor.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind? Ready for the drama? Oh, we know you are. Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind? Ready for the drama? Oh, we know you are.
All right, cool. I'm liking that. It's smoothing things out a little bit. Now I'm going to go back and maybe adjust some of this.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind? Ready for the drama? Oh, we know you are. Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind? Ready for the drama? Oh, we know you are.
All right, I like that.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community.
Now, we can either do a de-esser or another EQ, a de-esser or a gate, and it's not bugging me too much. I think there's something that's really important to consider. You can add plug-in on top of plug-in on top of plug-in, and the changes and possibilities are endless. You could work on this for hours and hours and hours. Will it be different? Yes. Will it be better? Depends on who's listening to it. There's always this equation you've got to be dealing with. It's like time versus output. At what point do you have to get onto the next project if you're a production house working on stuff, or you've got to get a video out and you've got to get the audio right, or whatever you may be working on. You've got to work with that ratio. How much time should I spend on this? Because it sounds pretty good. And if this was on YouTube, or if this was underneath music for a commercial, or it's on a television promo to tease the next show that's on, I think this is going to sound really good, especially with music behind it. So
coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles.
So I think we've done a pretty good job after listening to it. We're going to listen to the before and after. I think that's a really good way of hearing what we've done and if we've made an improvement or not. I have a brand new voiceover editing course, an online course that's going to be available this summer, a little later this summer. Professional voiceover production concepts, more of this kind of stuff that we're doing. And then it goes a little deeper. You could sign up to be notified. There's a link in the description if you want to be notified when it becomes available. I'm really excited about it. And also, if you want to submit a voice like this, because I'm looking to do more of these. I think these videos are really helping people. And I want to try using different types of voices: female, male, old, young, raspy, soft, somebody that's really intimate versus somebody that's doing a hard sell, screaming, because all the adjustments are different. And I want to do a series so you could see you can see and hear what's going on in my head and why I make the decisions I'm making. All right, let's see if the changes we've made actually improve it. And I want to do one last thing. I want to go to the compressor.
Coming up next, we take a look at...
And I want to make sure that what's going into the compressor and what's coming out of the compressor is matched. The overall volume peaks are matched. So that's really important because our minds, the human brain, perceives loud as better. And I don't want to make that a decision and if you think this is an improvement or not. So it's always a good idea. And also for gain staging, it's always a smart idea when you're working with compression, you're reducing the dynamics of the peaks, and then you bring it back up with the makeup volume, match the input and output so what's going out is the same.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Coming up next, we take a look at the Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles.
That's pretty close right there, before and after the compressor. All right, so let's take a look and see if we've made an improvement or not.
Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind? Coming up next, we take a look at the very active lifestyles in the sunny beach community. Who's dating who? What's on his mind? And who will get left behind?
So what I'm hearing is it's perceived as louder, but you could look at the meters. It's not, if maybe a minute amount, a little bit louder, but overall it has a thicker sound to me. It's more punchy, and it's more just broad and in your face, a forward sound, which is, in my opinion, that big, bold broadcast feeling and vibe that a lot of voiceover talent is looking for. So I hope that helped. I'd love to hear your comments. Do you think it was an improvement? Do you say, I don't hear much of a difference? And that's possible too. Or do you have any specific questions? You want to know what I did? And then please, if you've got an audio clip, I'd love to use some more voiceovers from you to process and then repost so you could see how it's done on different types of voice material. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
Guess what?
What's up?
You got another package today.
Yes!
What is it this time?
Oh, yes.
Let me guess.
I was gonna,
A microphone?
I was going to tell you I bought some more stuff. Yes, it's a microphone. It's the one I was talking about. But this is a tube
Oh
microphone.
yeah, this one does all kinds of things.
No, this one's different.
You know you have a problem, right?
No, I don't have a problem. That's what I do, is buy equipment. I love you.
Love you too, honey.